Alright guys, welcome back to another part of the pressure vessel design series, or mini series. I guess that's what this is kind of turning out to be. But essentially today I'm going to go over making a drawing with this tank and piping layout, adding notes and highlighting certain angles and pipe dimensions. Basically what I'm going to want is that when the pipes and tanks subteam go through and actually make their own piping lengths, I would like them to go ahead and actually make their own drawing and try to do something very similar to this. And because basically what we're trying to do is create a top view or a front view drawing that shows the total lengths from the tops of the tanks to the bottoms of the tanks, and the features and geometries of the piping. Because we're going to have to give that over to fluids and propulsion so they can actually go ahead and run some analysis and tell us if that's good or not. Now, as I mentioned last time, this piping is very rudimentary. There's going to be a lot of other things added to it, and it's going to end up looking or having well, it's going to end up having a lot more to it. There's going to be pressure sensors, there's going to be temperature sensors, there's going to be vent paths, fill lines, and all that kind of stuff. And you can refer to the PID drawing or the PID in the structures folder. And that, yeah, if you need that, we'll look into that later on. But what we're going to try to highlight right now is just the main pressurant lines into the two tanks, so pressurant into the Jet A and pressurant into the liquid oxygen right here, and then the injector paths from the Jet A here to the injector here, and from the locks to the injector here. We're just going to give them major dimensions and angles essentially to work off of. So to go ahead and get started, let's go ahead and create a make drawing from part/assembly. Just find that little new tab up here. Oh, and actually, let me go ahead and boost the size of these guys for you. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and I've created a very basic, I guess, kind of outline of what I would like to see in this kind of tanks and piping document for the fluids. So first of all, on the first page, I'd just like kind of like an overall description of what's going on, like with labels. So helium tank, Jet A tank, LOX tank, main pressurant line, and then injector line and injector line. So in order to make these kind of like annotations or these notes, you're going to want to go up to note, and then just you can either click on something and it will point the line, and then you can type whatever you want, and then boom, you got your note, and then it automatically keeps it open so you can keep selecting things and keep adding. So go ahead, load in your little part file from your window, which is over here, and you'll see it by this little drawing view palette here. Just take whatever view drawing you want, drop it into here, add some basic annotations to talk about what each part is. And if you want, you can add a little table down here with parts numbers, so instead of doing direct naming, you can name this part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, etc., and then define those down here. And then on the second page, something like this is it's not completed, but it'll get the kind of point across, where essentially is you have your different height values from the bottom of the helium tank, because fluids is going to need to know the distance from where it's pressurizing from to the Jet A tank and over here. And I would recommend just tabulating that data in a quick table. So to kind of do this part, a table, go over here to tables, general table, and that's an annotation window. And you can edit the number of columns and rows, and once you kind of figure it out how many you want, just click on your window, and then it will drop wherever. And then in this, it's pretty easy. To edit, you just double click into a box and you can type anything. So we can say, let's just say distance again. If I can spell, which I can't. So in order to edit, just double click it again. And let's say normally this should be giving me the option to change. I don't know why it's not letting me change anything. Usually when you click this, it allows you to edit your document font, but it's not allowing me to do that, so I don't know why. We'll figure that out another time. Who cares? Moving on. To add the dimensions, go over here, Smart Dimensions, click on whichever lines you want to measure from. Click just between two lines. Come on. Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. Just click between two lines and then you'll be able to drop down a dimension. Last thing, this is where it's kind of the important one, is for the routing. So essentially what I want is all kind of major parts. So here I have it split right where it goes down this T, so I have the distance from the bottom of the helium tank to the split in the T, from the split in the T to the top of the Jet A tank. And then as you can see here, I don't have any dimensions in here, but I grabbed this part and I blew it up down here in this detail view, and I actually put the dimensions in here, so it'd be a little easier to see and it wouldn't be as convoluted. So in order to go ahead and do this with a detail view, go to View Layout, go to Detail View, and then you can select a point, and then you can drag a circle for your area of what you want to cover, and then there you'll be able to drag and drop this area anywhere you want on the map or on your drawing file, and then you can always edit the scale individually here. So that's really useful for if you want to highlight certain points, and I use that in these drawings to help me show the dimensions at each of all the pipings in between all the tanks. So as you can see, I have that detail view here. This is the first one with the angle, length from here, angle here, and then continuing from there, I have the total length of this pipe down the side of the vehicle, and then back into the vehicle, and then here gives you the angle of this 16-inch, and then this gives you the remainder distance from the bottom of that 16 to the top of the LOX tank. Same thing up here, about 10 inches from the bottom of the Jet A tank to here, where it starts a 35-degree turn, and then it goes 16, 100, and about 109, and then we can go back down into here, which just shows you it has a 45-degree down bend, goes down 11, and then goes over 20, and then on this one you can see the same thing. So I would like for you guys to try and do something like this. It'll probably take a little bit to kind of get used to all the little nuances of using these features, but something like this is what we're going to want to send to propulsion, and obviously we're going to want to fill this out a little bit more and this page out a little bit more with some relevant information and knowns and unknowns and assumptions. But generally wise, if you guys can kind of prepare something that looks like this between these 3 pages, that should be a good enough starting point to get us kind of going, and get the GFSSP rolling. And to add your name and title and stuff down here, a lot of the times I'll just hit note and then I'll just directly type it into here. And to edit font at all for anything you want, you can edit here. You can select size, bold, italics, etc., etc. Pretty cool, and you'll probably be using this a lot to try and make it look a little nicer, but for now just worry about getting the details down. I can always go back and make it look nicer if needed before we send it over to fluids, so don't worry about that. And one other thing on this one, for the tank sizing, please try to have both inches and meters, because I don't know if fluids is doing theirs in inches or in meters, so giving it to them and giving it to both of them, well, giving them in both versions is probably a good way to kind of cover all our bases. But yeah, for now, I guess go ahead and get started on that and let me know if you have any issues. And see you guys.